My deadbeat father is blaming me for my mom's death and abandoned me. Now, he is begging me not to tell his new wife the truth, but I made her disgusted with him. My dad practically gave me up to his sister from the moment I was born. My mom died when she was giving birth to me, and my aunt told me he never recovered from that because he blamed me for her dying. It hurt a lot as a kid that he would ignore my existence at family events. When I was a little older, he got more vocal about me unaliving her, and he couldn't stand to look at my face. You can imagine the amount of therapy that put me in. I used to go to church crying because I was scared about going to hell for doing that to my mom. That's how much his words fucked me up. But the shady part was that I never stopped trying to be accepted by him. After my high school graduation, he told me never to bother him again since he legally had no obligation to me anymore. Around that time, I finally started accepting that reality, so we moved on with our lives. My aunt doesn't talk to me about him. Sometimes my grandparents do, and that's how I found out he got married. They were mad that he hadn't invited me to their wedding, but to me, it didn't matter because we were not close. But it was his wife who wanted to meet me. It's the first time he wants to make contact, and it was to say she wants me in their life. She doesn't know why we're estranged. He asked me not to say anything, and maybe this could be a way to reconcile, but he was only doing it for her. That much was clear when we talked. I never said I would, but he insisted on us meeting at their place because she wanted to meet me. She thinks we were estranged for not getting along in my teenage years, going to college, and losing touch because of life stuff. It pissed me off that he played it off as us just not talking for petty reasons. Meanwhile, the actual reason damaged me for years. I told her the truth, everything he said to me, that he was never apparent to me. That was all my aunt said. It was definitely a shock for her. The outcome was a disaster. Everyone has heard about this now. My grandma in particular told me she understands my anger, but this was his chance to find someone since losing my mom, and now it's been put in jeopardy. My dad is devastated. They think it was going too far to ruin his marriage that way when he was willing to include me in their lives, which could have been the start of our relationship. And they say, not only did I ruin that, but also possibly wrecked his marriage. She doesn't agree with what he did, and it could have been avoided if I didn't say anything. For me, it was hard not to tell the truth after the lies made it seem like it was nothing serious. I couldn't ignore what happened after what it did. I don't know if it was the right call since it put their whole marriage at risk. Update. It's a little heavy, and for a couple of days I needed some time to process it and do some crying. They're splitting up. I heard it first from my grandma, then from his wife, or I guess ex. She was literally crying on the phone when she called to tell me sorry for putting me in that position. She and my dad had a longer conversation, during which he told her everything else he did, so she decided she couldn't stay with someone like him. She wanted me to know how disgusted she was and to tell me thanks, which is something I really needed to hear. My dad is who he is. Yeah, but regardless, two people splitting their marriage because of what you said is a hard thing not to feel guilty about. This lady is heartbroken going through divorce just a few months after getting married, and she wanted to make the time to reassure someone else that they made the right choice. Unexpectedly though, my dad wanted us to talk yesterday too. My girlfriend again didn't want me to. Trust me, I get her point. For one thing, we didn't know what he wanted to talk about and what that would do to my mental health. It was probably a bad risk, but I met with him. And yeah, I should listen to my girlfriend more when it comes to this stuff. For the first time in my life, I think we talked about my mom. He loved her, and they were happy and excited about having a family. But then she died, and he told me even if it's wrong, he can't ever not blame me because simply if I hadn't been born, she'd still be here. He's only sorry for not staying away from me and saying horrible things growing up. While he wasn't saying this to be malicious since he seemed sincere, it was still an ouch for me. In the end, we decided having a relationship with each other was never going to happen, and said goodbye. He at least apologized for trying to put me in that position. The first good thing he ever did was tell me what happened with his wife wasn't my fault. Then I just went home and cried. Had my day to process, a short therapy session, and support from both my aunt and girlfriend to get me through. The rest of my family is leaving me alone. At least so glad that in the end, it was resolved. Not a totally happy ending.